Singapore is often called the Little Red Dot, a tiny island nation that defies its size with its outsized achievements. When it gained independence in 1965, few would have predicted its remarkable transformation into one of the world's richest, safest, and most efficient countries. Today, Singapore boasts one of the highest GDPs per capita, a world-class education system, cutting-edge infrastructure, and an influential role on the global stage. How did a country with no natural resources, a small population, and a turbulent beginning achieve this incredible success? This is not just a story of economic growth, it's a narrative of resilience, visionary leadership, and a relentless drive to adapt and innovate. Let's explore Singapore's rise in depth, uncovering the lessons it holds for the rest of the world. The story of Singapore begins in 1965 when it unexpectedly became independent after being expelled from Malaysia. This wasn't a choice, but a necessity, driven by political and racial tensions. At the time, Singapore faced daunting challenges: no natural resources, no military, a small domestic market, and high unemployment. It was also dependent on imports for food, water, and energy. Racial and ethnic divisions added to the instability. The population was a mix of Chinese, Malays, Indians, and other groups, and tensions often erupted into violence. The British, who had previously established Singapore as a trading post, had started withdrawing their military bases, taking with them jobs that sustained thousands of families. By most measures, Singapore was a country on the brink of collapse. Yet, instead of falling into despair, Singapore's leaders seized this moment as an opportunity. They understood that the only way to survive was to unite the population, attract investment, and leverage its geographical location. One of Singapore's greatest natural advantages was its location at the crossroads of major global trade routes. Sitting at the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula, it was perfectly positioned to serve as a maritime hub for Asia, Europe, and beyond. But in the 1960s, its port facilities were outdated, and regional competition was fierce. Recognizing the potential, the government launched a modernization campaign. Investments were made in infrastructure, logistics, and management, transforming the Port of Singapore into one of the world's busiest and most efficient ports. Today, the Port of Singapore handles over 37 million containers annually, connecting 600 ports in 120 countries. Its success is not just about its strategic location, but its world-class efficiency. Ships that dock in Singapore experience minimal delays, thanks to advanced technology and seamless coordination. Singapore also signed numerous free trade agreements, making it a gateway for businesses looking to enter the Asian market. By reducing barriers to trade, it positioned itself as a preferred hub for multinational companies. Behind Singapore's success was the visionary leadership of Lee Kuan Yew, its first prime minister. Lee and his team understood that Singapore's survival depended on strong governance, long-term planning, and a disciplined population. One of Lee's first priorities was political stability. The government cracked down on corruption, implemented strict laws, and ensured accountability at every level. Meritocracy became a cornerstone of governance. Jobs and promotions were given based on ability, not connections or ethnicity. Lee also focused on fostering a sense of national identity. This was no easy task in a country with diverse ethnic groups and languages. Policies promoting bilingualism were introduced, ensuring that citizens could communicate in both English, the global language of business, and their mother tongues. Singapore's journey to economic success began with industrialization. In the 1960s, the government established the Economic Development Board, or EDB, to attract foreign investment. Generous tax incentives, infrastructure support, and stable governance drew companies from Europe, Japan, and the United States. Initially, Singapore focused on labor-intensive industries like textiles, electronics, and shipbuilding. These industries provided jobs for thousands and helped stabilize the economy. By the 1980s, Singapore began moving toward high-value industries like finance, advanced manufacturing, and technology. The financial services sector, in particular, became a cornerstone of the economy. Today, Singapore is a global banking hub, hosting major financial institutions and managing trillions of dollars in assets. From the outset, Singapore recognized that its people were its most valuable resource. Without natural resources to rely on, the government prioritized education to create a skilled and adaptable workforce. Singapore's education system is known for its rigor and focus on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Schools emphasize critical thinking, problem-solving, and practical skills. In addition to academic excellence, Singapore invested in technical education. The Institute of Technical Education, or ITE, and polytechnics were established to equip students with skills for industries like engineering, healthcare, and logistics. This ensured that every citizen, regardless of academic ability, could contribute to the economy. Today, Singapore consistently ranks at the top of global assessments in math, science, and literacy. Its universities, such as the National University of Singapore, are among the best in the world, producing graduates who excel in fields like artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and financial technology. Singapore's small size required innovative urban planning. The government took a unique approach, designing not just housing, but entire communities. The Housing and Development Board, or HDB, was created to provide affordable, high-quality housing. Over 80% of Singaporeans live in HDB flats, which are integrated with schools, parks, and shopping centers. These communities are designed to foster social cohesion and ensure that every citizen has access to essential amenities. Singapore also leads the world in infrastructure. Changi Airport, for example, is consistently ranked the best globally, serving as a hub for international travel, and its public transportation system is a model of efficiency, with clean, reliable, and affordable trains and buses connecting the island. As a small, resource-scarce country, Singapore has been a pioneer in sustainability. The New Water program, which recycles wastewater into clean drinking water, is a global model for water management. This innovation reduced the island's reliance on imported water from Malaysia. Singapore is also investing in solar energy, urban farming, and green technologies. Its Smart Nation initiative integrates technology into every aspect of urban life, from traffic management to healthcare, ensuring that the city-state remains at the forefront of innovation. No story of success is without its challenges. Singapore faces a high cost of living, which places pressure on middle-income families. Income inequality has also grown, and critics argue that the government's strict laws limit personal freedoms. However, the government has introduced measures like wage subsidies, public assistance programs, and progressive tax policies to address these concerns. Balancing economic growth with social equity remains an ongoing challenge. What makes Singapore's story so compelling is that it defies conventional wisdom. It proves that size, location, and resource don't dictate destiny. Singapore's success stems from its focus on long-term planning, adaptability, and investment in people. It demonstrates the importance of strong governance, education, and innovation in building a thriving nation. As Singapore looks to the future, it continues to adapt. Climate change, technological disruption, and geopolitical shifts pose new challenges, but Singapore is prepared. Its focus on sustainability, innovation, and inclusivity ensures that it remains a global leader. From its humble beginnings to its current position as an economic powerhouse, Singapore is a testament to what's possible with vision, discipline, and determination. It's not just a story of success, it's a story of endless possibilities, showing that even the smallest countries can have the biggest impact.